Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys have fun with this work set. Today's kind of an AMRAP with some holding today. So it's going to be a little funky, kind of different AMRAP for you guys today. So I hope you guys enjoy. Before we get to that though, let's talk about our warm up. We're going to play around some core work today. Plank the down dog for 3 to 5 reps. Into a quad plank ankle touch for 10 alternating reps. Plank to bear squat for 3 to 5. And then a forearm plank rock to knee to elbow for 20 seconds. And just kind of flowing through that movement set. I'll walk you through that in our warm-up, in our demo positioning, but it's a cool little work set. It's going to get some heat going in that core, so be prepared for that and take it slow. We have 1 to 2 rounds of that piece. It's going to kind of cover your shoulders. It's going to get your heart rate kind of maybe going up a little bit, but it's going to generate a lot of internal heat, so be prepared. From there, we're going to work on some movements that we'll see in the workout. We're going to work on our front rack hold of 10 seconds. Then you're going to move right into a front rack standing march for 10 seconds. We'll lower the dumbbells to the side into our farmer's hold, and then we'll move into a goblet squat for 5 for 2 rounds. Now, if you have a single dumbbell at home, you can do a single front rack into a march, into a hold, and then repeat on the opposite side to kind of get both sides kind of heated up together, but still getting some good time to warm everything up nice and slow. So take your time, build those movements up, figure out what loading you'd like to do and what you'd like to use in the workout, because in the workout, you'll be doing some holds for a little longer. So once we're done warming up, figuring out our loading, we're going to start the work set. Our workout is a 15-minute AMRAP, more so for quality than rounds. So what we're looking at is a 20-second hold in the front rack position. Then you'll get rid of a dumbbell. We'll tackle that dumbbell at the goblet. We're going to do 10 alternating step ups or variations of that step up, and then dumbbell farmer's hold for 20 seconds. So again, if you are looking at this going, I only have a single dumbbell, what I would do, 20 seconds on one side, 20 seconds on the other, hit that goblet, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. So you're getting kind of the best of both worlds. It will cut down on your overall rounds of the workout, but it's not so much about that so much as it is about quality of movement and working through that core engagement for 20 minutes. So it's going to be a really cool stabilizing workout and a chance to work on some positions. So let's warm you up, let's get you ready, talk about those positions, turn you loose for some good old AMRAP fun. All right, you guys, let's get those feet under the hips. We're going to take the arms big and tall up overhead. Let's clasp those fingers, press them up. We're going to reach them over to one side. We're going to come back through and reach them to the other side. Come back through, pressing them forward slightly. We're going to reach them straight ahead. We're going to come back overhead, keeping those ribs in, arms straight. We're going to come back, pressing them forward, and then take them up. And then one more time, take them forward, and take them up. Releasing those fingers, let's take it all the way down to the floor, touching those toes, walk with those shins, come down, framing the foot, we'll step it back into that lizard, nice and square in those hips. Let's lower the back knee, press the hip, outside hand is going to reach to the ceiling, we'll come back down, press the hip, outside hand, reaching to the sky, one more time, press the hip, and open up to that outside hand. We're going to plant that hand, grip the floor, straighten the leg, we'll step back into our down dog, just briefly touching on that position. We'll come back into our plank, step the other foot up, nice and square in the hips, lowering the back knee, we'll press the hip, open up with the outside hand, reaching to the ceiling, coming down, pressing the hip, we'll come back through, outside hand, and then come back down, pressing the hip, come through, and outside hand. And come back down, gripping the floor, straighten out the leg, step back into that down dog, reaching those hips. We'll come back into the plank, pressing the floor away, we'll tiptoe those feet up, and then we're going to roll ourselves all the way up overhead. We'll reach to one side, we'll reach to the other side, we'll come back to center, bring those hands down, and we'll take her down. Let's get you guys ready. Now, if you have any extra movement you'd like to take down, some cat-cow, thread the needles, kneeling elbow twist, who knows? Take those down now. we're gonna start talking about our next phase, which is really gonna get the heat going from the inside out. All right, you guys, what we got coming up next, plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps. So let's get ourselves set up in our nice, strong plank position. We're gonna press the floor away, pulling those ribs in. Now from here, we're gonna press through the floor as we set those shoulders nice and strong, softening the knees and the hips as we flow into that nice, long position in that down dog. We're gonna keep pressing the floor away as we flow back into our plank and finding that position again. Now with that plank to down dog, we really wanna focus on that gentle pressure into the floor as we maintain that shoulder position all the way through that range. So really creating space through the upper back as we roll those shoulders away from each other. We got 3 to 5 reps, so take your time there. Kind of breaking down each rep so that we can make sure those shoulders are set and ready to go. After that, we're gonna move into our quad plank. So we're gonna get ourselves set up in our little tabletop. Now in this quad plank, we're gonna push the floor away, pull the ribs in a bit, and we're gonna lift the knees up a tad, so about 1 inch off the floor. Now from here, we're gonna add another piece. We're gonna work on sitting straight back to our ankles. So we're not shooting our hips up, we're sitting kind of straight back, and we're gonna reach and touch our hand to our foot. So it's gonna look like so. I get myself set up, push the floor away, I sit back, touch, come back into my quad. Touch, back into my quad. Touch, back into my quad. Touch, back into my quad. So I'm always coming back into my little quad plank, resetting that position. I'm not going super fast, but just sitting back enough, touch the inside of my ankle, back into my quad, little hold, and then adjust again. So don't rush through these movements. Take the time to kind of shift and flow back and forth into that movement set. Our next exercise could definitely turn back into a plank to down dog, or you can do a plank to bear squat. So set up the same way as our down dog kind of combo, except our feet are going to be about hip to shoulder width apart. I'm still pushing the floor away, and instead of sending my hips high, I'm going to send my hips towards my heels into that nice deep squat position. I'm going to push out into that nice plank, and then pull straight back in to that nice position in that deep squat. Now you can choose how far back you go. Your ankles and your shoulders are going to decide that for you. But I want you guys to keep in mind that the shoulder position, although a little bit more aggressive on the shoulder, in the down dog and the bear squat are the same. Armpit is still facing towards the floor, nice and active. It's just a little bit more engagement into the floor as we press down and in to stabilize that upper back. So there's not a lot of difference between those two, except it is a little bit more load on the ankles, hips, and knees, and those shoulders definitely are working a little bit more in that bear squat. Figure out what you want to play with, take it to the range you're comfortable with, and then work through those reps nice and slow. We got 3 to 5 reps there. Our forearm plank rock plus knee to elbow is coming up next. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves set up on our forearms. So elbow stacked underneath the shoulder. I'm going to step back into my forearm plank. I am going to pull forward. So I'm pulling my elbows towards my knees, and then I'm going to push back into my forearm plank. Once I'm set in this forearm plank again, I'm going to squeeze my knee up to my elbow, and then squeeze my knee up to my elbow, reset my forearm plank, and then do it again. So I'm going to move back and forth through those 2 movements. Again, treating them as 2 separate pieces, but they're a little complex. So don't rush through those movements. Make sure your forearm plank is set. We're pulling those elbows towards our knees or thighs, which in turn will pull our body forward. Once we come back into our comfortable forearm plank, then you can do your knee to elbow. So again, don't rush those positions. This is not about maximum reps. It's more about steady state flow for 20 seconds. So don't worry about how many repetitions you get in that complex. Move with quality, move for position. Now from here, if you're looking at that going, yeah, Dave, the forearm plank rock is enough for me, or the is enough for me. You can pick one, work it hard, and make it a little bit better this time. So just try and kind of get more comfortable with one of the pieces instead of joining both. So I'm totally fine with that as well. As a quick recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps. We have a quad plank ankle touch for 10 alternating total count reps. Plank to bear squat or down dog again for 3 to 5. Forearm plank rock plus knee to elbow. 20 seconds of just steady flow for 1 to 2 rounds. Take the time, have some fun with this, warm this body up. It's gonna get tight and toasty. And this is a really cool work set to play with if you'd like to hold on to this for another day. If you'd like to just do some nice shoulder and core work, this is a really nice piece to transform into a 3 to 5 round option that could turn into a little mini workout as well. So pause the video, take it down. We're gonna come back, talk about our front rack and our farmer's holds. All right, our next phase of warm-up is gonna start kind of focusing on the dumbbell and getting our body ready to kind of work on that hold. So our first hold is gonna be a front rack hold. So I'm gonna clean my dumbbell or dumbbells up to the shoulders. The front rack positioning is gonna get that elbow slightly forward and out. The back of the dumbbell is going to be resting on the back of my shoulder, all right, or on my shoulder, I should say. And my feet are in a comfortable stance, so hip or just outside hip width stance. I'm gonna press into that dumbbell a little bit, not trying to come up here or rest the dumbbell on the shoulder. I would like you guys to have that dumbbell at a 45 degree, so we really do have to use the obliques, those lats, that side body to kind of get that and support that dumbbell. So make sure we're having that dumbbell at that 45 degree position. And we're gonna hold this position and breathe, maintaining that tension and that support in the dumbbell. Right after we've done our 10-second hold, we're gonna move into our standing march in the same position. So working on keeping that upper body still as we shift side to side, working on our march. So our march, we're trying to lift that knee as high as we can while still maintaining a nice solid upper body and maintaining good balance. We'll hit that for 10 seconds, so it's not gonna be very long. We're gonna come back to a standing position where I'm gonna hold the dumbbell or dumbbells to the side in my farmer's or suitcase position. Now with this, we wanna make sure the shoulders are down and back slightly, so they're not getting pulled forward and down. We wanna make sure that we're nice and tall, the shoulder is back and down, and we're nice and stable through this position. All right, we're not pulling the shoulders back, which creates our chest to push forward, just to a nice neutral position so the shoulders feel very stable. And you're gonna hold here for 10 seconds. So with this, that's our second hold in our workout, the farmer's hold or suitcase hold. So you're gonna hold that body nice and strong, nice and still. Again, holding those shoulders as strong as we can as well. Our last movement is our goblet squat. So we're gonna bring the dumbbell up under the chin. We're gonna get our feet into our natural squat stance. So we're gonna push into the dumbbell just slightly. And we're gonna draw those hips towards those heels, knees tracking the toes, and we're gonna really focus on that nice upright body. This is gonna feel really good after all those squats we did yesterday. It's just a nice little stretch and a nice chance to work on the goblet positioning. So this opening piece, take it a few rounds, make sure you're comfortable with the loading that you're gonna use in the workout for the front rack and the farmers. The goblet position is gonna be used for the step, which we can practice a little bit later on, closer to the workout. Or you can substitute the goblet step in place of the goblet squat to get used to that position and the loading you're going to use for your step up. So as a quick recap, we have a 10-second front rack hold, we have a 10-second front rack march, 10-second farmer's hold, and then 5 goblet squats for quality, or substituting into a goblet step to make sure we're comfortable with what we're using in the workout. 2 to 3 rounds of this piece, take it down, rock it, get ready. We're gonna talk about our workout right after this. We've made it to the workout, everyone. Here it is. We have a 15-minute AMRAP. Dumbbell front rack hold, 20 seconds. So you're gonna hold 2 or a single, depending what you have access to. Then you're gonna move into 10 alternating goblet step ups, back and forth, switching feet. Dumbbell farmer's hold, 20 seconds, and then you're gonna clean the dumbbells back up, right into that front rack hold. So a couple pieces here we've already talked about. We've talked about the two holds, the front rack and the farmers. We wanna make sure that we are holding those positions well, and we're not just getting them done. So if you feel your core starting to kind of give, or your shoulders starting to give in the front rack or the farmers, put the dumbbells down, shake it out, accumulate that hold, all right, time. That probably won't happen until closer to the end of the workout, but we wanna make sure that we are setting ourselves up well with a challenging load, but a load that we can maintain for most of the workout, unbroken for those holds. Now the only movement we haven't talked about is the Goblet Step Up. So what we have is one dumbbell. You can use it from whatever you're using for the front rack or the farmers, or a different weight if you'd like. You're gonna hold the dumbbell under the chin. We're gonna get one foot up on the box, keeping the body tall. We'll shift in, stand tall, come back down. And we're gonna alternate today. So we're gonna work on focusing on that position, maintaining that upright torso, and coming into a full extension on the box as we work through that step. Now this is a little different because that goblet is going to take away a little bit of that visibility of the step, so you have to really take your time, take it nice and slow. Now if you don't have a box that you're comfortable stepping up on, or an apparatus you're comfortable stepping on that's stable, in place of the Goblet Step Up, we can do a Goblet March. And I'll have a time frame on the workout description for you to use and substitute in there. So we're gonna do that Goblet March in place of the Step Up if we don't have an apparatus. It's gonna be a nice kind of core work set today, so I hope you guys enjoy this one. It's kind of a weird AMRAP, but it's gonna be a nice chance just to kind of ease into some positions, work on some tension, work on maintaining a good, strong structure that we're gonna need tomorrow in our work set. So, have fun with this workout, you guys. Take your time through it. Set yourself up with some loads that you can move well. They don't have to be the same loads for the 3 exercises, but just make sure you have loads that you can move well, up and down, and have fun for a good solid 15 minutes. As always, work for quality. Have a ton of fun with this one, you guys. We get to embrace our inner statue today, so I hope you enjoy. And we'll see you tomorrow for a nice little 2-round, fun little work set, we'll say. Yeah. Bye, you guys.